If you've always wanted to relocate out of the Western world into another country, you're feeling stuck, you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, you're tired of your 9 to 5, you just want to leave, but you're wondering, how am I going to support myself financially? How am I going to live? What income am I going to have? Now, this is a popular question I get asked. In fact, the number one question I do get asked is, how am I going to know my financial exit number, or how much money do I need to relocate? That's the number one question I get asked. And I've done a video about this. So make sure that you go and check out the video. The second most popular question I get asked is, once I have relocated, how am I going to support myself? How am I going to have an income? Now, I'm going to cover this in this video. So make sure that you stay with me, because when I finish the video, you are going to have a proper plan. You're going to have a roadmap which is going to help you to relocate. Hi, my name's Afriye and I am a diaspora exit strategist. And what that means is I help you to relocate successfully by helping you to build a freedom-based business. I think it's so important that while you are in the Western world, that you build an income so that you have a fantastic foundation when you come to either Kenya, another African country, or outside of the Western world. You have a healthy, firm foundation. So if this is something that interests you, stick around. All right, so before I give you the business ideas, because this is easy, I can give you a list of business ideas. I just want you to pause around this for a minute, because that business idea is actually within you. You don't need to look far, okay? Because some of you get really stressed. What business am I going to do? Start doing all of these research. But it actually starts with you. And what I mean by that is, number one, step one, okay, if you want to call it a step, number one is, what knowledge do you have? What experience do you have? Or what skill set that you have that you can monetize? Okay, start thinking about, what are the things that people often come to you for advice? What do your friends and family tell you that you're actually good at? What are some of your passions? What are the things that keep you up at night? What are the things that actually anger you, that you want to do something about it? These are all clues. And sometimes what happens to us is that we think that that thing that we have is actually insignificant. It's not really worth talking about, or how are you going to make money out of it? Listen, sometimes the most insignificant skill set, knowledge, or experience is actually your secret sauce. That's the thing that's going to make you millions. Look at Martha Stewart. If you don't know Martha Stewart, definitely look her up. Martha Stewart is a billionaire. You know how she made her money? She made her money from homemaking. Okay? Homemaking. She's actually at home and she's really good at organizing the home, and she literally talked about it, and she made her billions from homemaking. What's your excuse? My friend's wife, she does also homemaking as well. And she literally came on social media and talked about how she organizes her house, how she organizes her children and her husband. And within a few months, she had 200,000 followers. So look, don't look down on yourself. You know, you have something great to offer people. And sometimes the most complicated thing that we want the world to know, or we try to overcomplicate things, sometimes that doesn't actually work out, and the most simplest thing does. There is a guy, I kid you not, he teaches his clients how to bond with his cats. I'm actually not lying to you. He teaches people to love and bond with their cats, and he makes £100,000. Not shillings, not rupees, £100,000 every single month for teaching people how to bond with their cat. Let that sink in for a minute. Just let that thing sink in. How much more you with your skill set? So make a list, okay? I've got some notes here because this is a really important subject that I really want to cover and do justice. And sometimes I can go off on one on a tangent because I get really excited about this subject. So I've got my notes so that I can cover this and do this justice. So, number one, take a paper and pen and list all of the things that you are good at, you're interested in, you have a skill and experience. You could be at work and you could be really good at putting systems in place, administration, HR. You know, think about those experiences and think about those skills. Don't overthink it. Whatever comes into your mind, just write about it. Listen, there's people on social media that tell stories. Stories. Once upon a time, time, as they'll say in Ghana. Once upon a time, time. They tell stories and they are making money. There are people on social media that talk about celebrities all day long. They chat about celebrities and they're making their money. So I don't think there is nothing that can be monetized. I swear if I look on YouTube, there'll be somebody teaching you how to go to the toilet properly. You'd be surprised at what is on social media and people making money from it. So get that list, write it down, and then we can take it from there, okay? All right. Number two, I just really want to talk about your knowledge here. I know I covered a little bit, but I just want to go a little bit deeper about your knowledge because sometimes some people may feel like I don't have a skill set. So maybe I didn't go to school or, I just didn't have a skill set. You have knowledge. There is some information that you have that can be monetized. Think about it. You could be somebody that knows the streets of London, or you could be somebody that knows the streets of LA or the streets of Nairobi or Malindi. There is a guy who I always forget his name. His name escapes me. Anyway, this guy is from Nigeria and he loved traveling. But because of his Nigerian passport, he couldn't travel with it because Nigerian passports is not easy. It's not the easiest passport to have. So he decided to just shoot on his camera the streets of Lagos, just telling people the best places to eat, telling people where to go to party, etc. because he couldn't travel. Now the guy is a multimillionaire. He lives in Portugal. He's been to practically every country because he used what he had. So do you have any knowledge? Maybe you have knowledge about cooking or making clothes or history. There's people that make money on just telling you historical facts. Your knowledge is also very, very important. And then the third one is your experience. You could be an experienced mother and you have figured out how to raise children to be amazing human beings. And you can share that knowledge as a mother. You can share the knowledge as a father. Right? So your experience, what you've been through, sometimes you've been through a tragedy and you can share that and you can also monetize that as well. So that is why I want you to spend some time, grab some wine if it helps, chill out music and write all of these things down. I just wanted to say something about the passion trap because you will hear a lot on social media with people telling you, start a business with your passion. If you're passionate about this, start a business with it. I actually disagree. You can do, but it's not all the time that you should start a business with your passion. And that's what gets some people stuck. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm very passionate about cooking. Anybody that knows me knows I love cooking. I bake, I cook, and if I do say so myself, I think I'm actually a pretty good cook. Would I set up a business in cooking? Heck to the no. The thought of it, oh my goodness, to monetize my cooking, no. I'm passionate about cooking, but the thought about running a cooking business or a restaurant, heck to the no, right? I'm passionate about politics and Pan-Africanism. I can talk about that all day. But monetizing it and providing a service for it, no. So you don't always have to do a business on your passion. Sometimes you can just keep your passion as your passion. Keep it as your hobby. I set up a business because there was an experience that I had and I don't want people to go through those experiences. That's why I set up my business that I'm doing now, helping diasporas to build wealth and relocate successfully, because I've been through that experience. I've had some hard knocks. I've come across some challenges, and I don't want people to come across those things as well. So that is the reason why I do my business. So there could be so many different reasons. It doesn't have to be just your passion. So we have just gone through your skill set, your knowledge, and your experience. But I want you to run that through some filters, because hopefully by now you would have narrowed down at least one or two. Don't make it too many, like 5, 6, or 7. You'll just get confused. But one or two areas that you feel that you want to now consider this as a business. I want to run it through some filters for you so that you can still see at the end if it's worth pursuing. All right. So, filter number 1, are you interested enough in this to stay at it, to keep going at it, even when the going gets tough, even when you're not making any money, or when you're dealing with difficult clients, or when there's challenges that are going on, personal challenges, external challenges? Are you interested enough? Do you love it enough to push through? Because if the answer is no, or you're feeling a little bit of a tug, then I would pause on that particular area and go back to the drawing board and look at your other things that you've listed. Because the area that you choose, you're going to have to stick through this thick and thin. Business is not easy. It is not for the faint-hearted. Entrepreneurship, there is feast and there is famine. There are times, especially at the beginning, where you are going to have to grind, hustle. You're not seeing any money coming in. You're going to have inquiries. People are going to be inquiring, messaging your DMs. The amount of DMs that I get with people messaging, and then when you give them the price, or you give them, what the rules are, or whatever it is, you don't hear from them again. Or people, you get excited. People say, I want to book you, and then it cancel. You're going to go through so many things. Can you stand with this business? Do you love it enough to stick with it? This is very, very important. Number 2, is there a big enough market? This doesn't have to be millions and millions of people, but is it enough that it can sustain your lifestyle? You want to relocate, right? You want to leave the West, you want to go to another country, that costs. So you have to look at your business and see if the market is big enough. Is there enough people willing to pay you for that product? Yes, you should go into a niche, because I talked about the guy who helps you to bond with your cat. But look how many cat owners there are. We may laugh, but there's a lot of cat owners. So there's enough market for him. So don't go too niche where there's not enough people to be able to pay you for this. So this is a filter that you've got to put that idea through. Number 3, can it be monetized in multiple ways? And what I mean by that is, one business, can it make multiple income streams? So for instance, if you want to talk about, I don't know, photography, right? You love photography and you want to set up an online training course on photography. How many ways can it be monetized? Could you have a membership? Could you have an online course? Could you have a consultancy? You need to check out how many ways you can make an income from it, because if it's only one, then that's going to really restrict you, and that's going to be quite tough to be able to build the wealth that you want to build. Or if you're somebody that is into cooking, like I mentioned cooking, I'm passionate about cooking, cookbooks, training courses, memberships, etc. So have a look at that and see how many ways that can be monetized. Number 4, now this is a big one. Can it be run remotely? Remember, we're talking about a freedom-based business, a business that will relocate with you wherever you go to in the world. There is no point, and I know it seems obvious, but it's not obvious to everybody. There is no point spending time building a business that you cannot relocate with. It's not remote. Yeah? You've got to think globally. there's some businesses that will work in the UK or in the US, but then when you travel, those customers are not going to be interested in that business, and then the country that you're in is not interested in that business. So think about it. How can it be transferred? How can it be run in other countries? That is really, really important. What systems can be put in place? Payment systems, marketing systems, distribution systems, so that it can help you to run it from another country. If you really have to go into a physical business, then still have a freedom-based business at the back of your mind. So I've got a friend who runs a multi-million-pound skincare business, but he lives in Dubai. His products are manufactured in the UK, but majority of his clients are in America. And he does that through a distribution company and a fulfillment company and an external manufacturer. So if you still want a physical business, you have to think about these things. I'm living in one country, but I don't want to be making the products in one country. Can I outsource it to a manufacturer? So the manufacturer will be making your products for you. He then sends it to the fulfillment company. So my friend's fulfillment company is in America. So the products get shipped to America, and that company then posts it to his clients. Do you see that even if it's a physical business, you still have an online mentality, an online business mentality at the back of your mind to think, how is this going to run with me being in another country? Always have that at the back of your mind. Whenever you're looking at an idea, please don't be scared or put off that there's a lot of competition. In fact, when you go to a market and it seems saturated, that is a good sign. That is a clue that's telling you there is a market there. You don't want to go into a market where you're the only one. You don't have the marketing budget for that, especially if you're a startup. Right? Very few people go into a market where they're the only one and they've broken through. Okay, it's easier and it's cheaper if there is already a market there. So don't be scared of competition. Look at the competitors and see how you can do things differently. That's all it is. Look, I'll give you an example. Look at Blockbusters, right? Those who are from the UK will know Blockbusters, or those who are of a certain age, because these Gen Zs, if you say to them Blockbusters, they ain't going to know what you're talking about. So people who are my age and older, a little bit younger, Blockbusters. Blockbusters was this massive video company. They had video shops literally all over Europe and America. It was an American company. And what you'd have to do is you would go into Blockbuster shop, you would pick a video and you will rent it. And then you'd have rent it for maybe 7 days, and then you'd have to bring it back to Blockbusters. That's how it worked. And these were videos and DVDs. Yes, Gen Zs, again, you probably won't know what I'm talking about when I say DVD, you know? But these are like little disc things that used to stick in like a box and used to watch movies. So you would have to go and hire this from the shop. So a company called Netflix approached Blockbuster and said, look, the future is streaming. People are going to start streaming. They're not going to be coming to video shops and be hiring DVDs. You know what Blockbuster said? Blockbuster said, oh, please, nobody's going to be streaming. That's a really crap idea. We're major distributors. We are all over the world. We are untouchable. No one can defeat us. So Netflix went and did the streaming service themselves. Have you ever heard of Blockbuster again? No. Where is Blockbuster? Blockbuster who? People don't even know who they are. Why? Because they weren't able to adapt. And why I'm saying this is Netflix saw their competitors and saw how they can do things differently or better. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just look at how am I going to do things better. Also, how are you going to add your secret sauce to it? Sometimes your personality, the way that you're going to do your thing could be different. Look at Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay is a chef. What made him popular? Because he was swearing a lot. When he was cooking, he was swearing. He was very blunt. He was always shouting. It's the same cooking at the end of the day. But he became popular because he infused his personality in it. What kind of personality do you have that you feel that you can put into your business that's going to make your business very differently? Don't reinvent the wheel. Now that we've run the businesses through the filters, you've picked your businesses, what not to do is go and run out and create a product. This is the number one mistake a lot of people make when they are setting up their business. They have a fantastic idea, then they spend hours and sometimes a lot of money creating a product or a service, and then they go to market and you can hear crickets because nobody's there to buy. You didn't build your audience. Build your audience. You're going to hear me say this a number of times in most of my videos. Build your audience. This is a mistake I've made in the past. When I had my skincare business in the UK, I launched an amazing skincare business that was dealing with hyperpigmentation and all your skincare issues. And I spent so long crafting the product, getting in formulators, experts, all that jazz. Spent all that money on beautiful packaging. Had my shop and no customers. Why? Because I didn't build my audience. It's so important. Listen, you can go and build your audience without a product. Because what you will do is you will talk about the area that you are interested in, you're passionate about. You don't need to have a product if you are a videographer or a photographer. You don't even need to have a camera per se. You have your phone and you talk about it. You talk about different techniques. You talk about different angles, what to set up, how to set up, all that kind of thing. And then your audience will gravitate to you. They'll start listening to you. And the key about building an audience is listen to what your audience are telling you, what their complaints are, what their pain points are. I'm going to talk about problem solution in a minute. I'm giving you a bit of a clue here. Listen to them talking because that is what's going to help you to create your product. But if you just go to market, you're going to go on what you think is good. Remember, you're not selling to yourself. You are selling to your customers. It's not about you. It's about your customers and what their needs are. So now with social media, it is free to market. Just point a camera to yourself and start talking about the area of your passion. Are you passionate about children? Start talking about children. Are you passionate about healthy eating, nutrition? Start talking about it because your target audience are going to come to you. The way you do it, don't try and copy. I remember when I first started, I used to think that I'm so loud and I'm just so nuff, so I need to be posh and be ladylike. Oh my gosh, if you saw how I came across on camera, it was terrible. People were like, what are you doing? Because that's not me. I'm vivacious, I'm loud, I'm out there. That's me. Some people are going to like it and some people are going to hate it. That's okay. You are not all things to all men. You cannot please everybody and you cannot be loved by everybody. It's not possible. McDonald's can't do it. Colgate can't do it. Coca-Cola can't do it. So how much more you? Even Apple have people that don't like Apple. Not everybody likes Apple. I'm a Samsung girl. I have an Apple Mac, but I'm a Samsung girl, right? My son, the thought of him not buying an Apple phone keeps him up at night. He would never buy a Samsung. So you gravitate to what you love, what you're passionate about, who you will go to. So you will have your people. Don't worry about that. Just be yourself. A lot of people do not have an ideas problem. They have a marketing problem. If you're not visible, nobody knows who you are and nobody's going to buy your product. Get out there. For some reason, people think that they can just have these products sitting in their house and people are going to come to them. I wish it could be easy like that. The world does not work like that. You need to be out there. And right now, there is so much noise on social media. So you've got to be out there every day. Yes, literally. You got to remember, we're starting from zero. You are sick of your job. You want to get out of the Western world and you want to relocate. Or some of you, you're hungry. You're hustling. You don't have much money in your bank account. You're going to have to be there every single day and build your audience. If you are not visible, nobody knows what you have and nobody's going to buy. And let me just say, at the beginning, you could have two people that's going to like your video, your mum and your best friend. Don't let that dishearten you. Everybody goes through it. I call it the baptism of fire, of social media fire. Yeah. Everybody goes through it. It takes time to build up your following, but don't let that dishearten you. Push through. Every day, turn up and show up. They say it takes at least 7 touch points before somebody buys from you. And people need to consume at least a certain amount of hours of your content before they will buy from you. That is why I always suggest don't just have TikTok, because TikTok is 1 minute. How many TikTok videos do they have to watch before they buy from you? But something like YouTube, Instagram is a lot longer. Also LinkedIn, they're a bit longer forms of content. With that, you've got the time to get to know your customers, to build that rapport, to build that relationship. All right. So don't let the low likes, the low views stop you. You are one video away from making it. The difference between Mr. Beast, if you don't know who Mr. Beast is, look him up. He's a billionaire from social media, millions and millions of followers. But when he first started, he had nobody. The difference between Mr. Beast and for some of you is that Mr. Beast never gave up. He pushed through. Let's move on to problem solution. One of my favorite bits of business. I love this. I could obsess on this for hours, right? I am very passionate about the problem that I am solving for my customers. This is really key, guys, and this is a secret sauce of you being very successful. You need to obsess about the problem of your customer. What are the things that keeps them up at night? What are their pain points? You can provide a service or a product that is going to meet their needs. And when you're building your audience, your social media is a clue, because people are going to be leaving comments. They're going to DM you. When I first started this business, I first of all straight away went into relocation. I thought that people just want help to relocate. And then the comments I was getting and the questions I was getting was, I really want to relocate, but I feel like I'm not ready. And I'll ask, why are you not ready? I'm not financially ready. I don't know my numbers. I have fears. I'm scared. What if I run out of money? I want to run a business, but I don't know how to run a business. Do you see? All of these questions, all of these comments that were coming in was my clue to be able to say, okay, let me take a pause a minute, because actually people don't need help to relocate, right? You can get that on social media. You can chat GPT it. What people need is a proper plan, a build before you leave strategy. Help them to set up a business that moves with them. That is what people wanted. Now, when I first started the business, I didn't know this. So it's important that you study your client, your consumers, your target audience problem, and that you can create a solution to that problem. People don't pay for information. That was 5 years ago, right? You can't just go on ChatGPT, create a PDF and stick it online and think that people are going to buy it. We've got AI for that now. People pay for transformation. How are you going to transform them in the quickest possible time? I'll give you 2 examples, right? You've got one company who are helping people with losing weight. They create a PDF, which they got from ChatGPT, and it tells you how to lose weight, and it tells you what exercises you need to do at the gym. It's a guide, it's a PDF or a guide, and people download it. And then you've got another company who they target busy mothers, who they help you to lose 10 pounds in a week without going to the gym, with a system that they've created. Which one are you going to go for? Of course, you're going to go for the one that's going to help you to lose £10 in a week without going to the gym with a system that's created. Why? Because it's not just information that you have to go and read. It is a system that brings results. So what I'm saying is try and have transformational tools that are not just, and I call them lazy. If you're going to do a PDF guide, I have a PDF guide. If you're going to have that, have it as a free lead magnet. And when you do it, put your heart and soul into it. Don't just chat GPT it and just stick it on a PDF. I have real life experiences in my guide. I have assessments in my guide. I have questions. I have tips. I took a long time to prepare this guide because I wanted to have a proper product for you that's going to transform you. Go and check it out. It's my free guide. If you go on the link below, you can download the free guide. It's for you and it's for free. I also have an exit calculator. I called it a diaspora exit calculator, which is going to calculate your numbers. My number one question I get asked is, how much money do I need to relocate? This calculator calculates it for you. It's got all the list of all the things that you need to think about when it comes to relocating. You put in the numbers, even down to your tax. It even gives you a percentage buffer, all of that. And it puts that all in there for you and it will calculate it for you. It does your savings, it does your budgeting. That is very different to a PDF or a checklist or templates. That's very, very different. And again, it's accessible for you. If you check out my link, go to my link and download it. So these are examples of transformational products that you need to think about rather than just sticking some information on a PDF or a template and thinking that's going to sell, because it ain't. All right, so now you know what area that you're going to look to monetize. You know about building your audience. You've put it through the filters. We've talked about digital products. Now it's about building it once and then that return on your investment. One thing I love about digital products, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Spend that time up front, put in the work, create a quality product. Look, some people say, oh, don't spend too much time on your digital product, just a couple of hours and just go and sell it. I'm of a different school of thought because everything I do, I try to make sure that is quality with the resources that I have. Fair enough, you might not have the best resources, but with the little that you have, try to do the best with it that you can. Don't be lazy with it. Yes, I believe in AI and I use AI, but don't just rely on AI. You have real life experiences, you have skills, you got knowledge. Put that into your product. Okay, because if you spend time up front building your product, it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving. That's one thing I love about digital products. You are sleeping and the money is coming to you. You are out and about with your friends and somebody's just downloaded your product. Okay, it is the gift that keeps on giving. That's the beauty of it. And there is no ceiling when it comes to an online business, when it comes to building a digital product or service. Sky's the limit. Okay, if you've got a shop, you've only got a certain amount of hours in a day. You've got to pay staff. With an online business, with a freedom-based business, one, it travels with you anywhere that you go. Two, you have customers from all over the world. When I had my wellness shop, I could only rely on people in the local area coming in or tourists, and that was it. When you have an online business, a freedom-based business, you can have money from Timbuktu. People can, as long as you've got a payment system in place, people can pay you from anywhere in the world. That's the beauty of it. All right, I did promise you 5 digital businesses that you can run in Kenya or anywhere else in the world. I did promise that to you. So I'm going to give it to you because you've been waiting with anticipation, but I did feel like it was important for me to cover the beginning because so many people are coming online and getting onto this digital products bandwagon of, oh, let me create a digital product and I'm going to be rich overnight. And I don't believe that that's the case. I believe that if you want to build a brand, if you want to build a solid business that's going to last, that's going to travel with you, and that you can pass on to your children, it's important that you think about the steps and you incorporate the steps that I talked about first. All right? Are you ready? Let's talk about the 5 businesses. Number 1, and they're not in any particular order, but an online course. That is a really, really good business to launch with. Do you have? We talked about your skill set. We talked about your knowledge. We talked about your experience. How can you put that in a course? But let me put a caveat here, because people are now coursed to death, if that's a word to say. Like, people have thrown courses down there. Throw course here, course here. I've got a course. They're tired and they're fed up. So how can you bring it in a different way? Maybe it could be a framework that you have, or a system. I love building systems. So I'm creating a system for you guys. How can you do it in a way where it's not just some charlatan, or you get a lot of scam people out there that are providing courses and you pay all this money and it's just a load of PDFs that you're downloading and there's nothing to it? Think about this. Make sure that you are giving people value. You are now, with the amount of information with AI, people are expecting a lot more. How can you give them so much value for their money? You have to think about that. That's one area in terms of the course that you cannot be lazy. And there is a crazy statistic. Is it, off the top of my head, it's around 80% of people don't complete courses. Why? Think about that. Think about how you're going to get people to complete your course. Remember, people are busy. People are time poor. So you don't have to cram so much information in your courses. In fact, people want as little steps as possible. So try to do it transformational, as little steps as possible, but people are getting the results. What is the point in putting so much information in a course, but you're not getting results? And I can get the same results in 5 steps. So it doesn't have to be a lot of information. So that's number 1, courses. Number 2, coaching programs. People want to be coached. People want to be shown how to do something. People will pay for your information, your knowledge to be coached to. What can you put in a coaching program? How can you mentor people? And it can be a one-to-one coaching program, or it can be a membership. But even if it's a one-to-one, think about how you can do this where you're not always having to show up all the time because you will be burnt out. Can you pre-record some information? Can you give handouts with some of the information? How can you scale this up? So coaching is very, very popular. I do one-to-one coaching. And in fact, if you are ready to start a freedom-based business, an online business, and you want more hand-holding, definitely hit me up. I have a one-to-one consulting program for you. The link is in my bio. The third one is membership communities. Now, this is a really good one because this is reoccurring income. Every single month, they are paying you for that membership. And this is just really a community. Think about it as a community center, right? Your community center in your local area, but it's online. So you have, and now with technology, with AI, with tools, there are platforms that is easy for people to join your community. And you will be talking to them, you'll be providing them with information. It's just a whole vibe, a group of people that's come together to be learning from you. What I love about online communities is the reoccurring income, the money that you're going to be getting every single month. The fourth one is templates and toolkits. These are done for you products that your clients don't have to think about. It's all there. AI prompts, they can just get on with it. I have a client and he does templates for websites. Literally, it's all there. They can just use the templates. And he's found a niche that a lot of the website companies has ignored. And it's a big enough market for him to make money. And that's all he does is templates for websites. So think about the toolkits, templates, and things that you can create for your niche. Number 5 is frameworks and systems. Now, this is where I live. I absolutely love creating a system. This is your signature way of doing things, how you can systematize something and provide it a solution for your clients. It's a framework. You could be somebody that is a HR specialist or somebody that's an IT person, and you have put a step-by-step system in place to help somebody. Okay, so I'm building a framework and a system for people to relocate. And this is going to be a step-by-step process and a whole framework to be put together to make it easier and quicker for you to build a freedom-based business and to relocate. So this is my favorite out of all the categories. It takes a little bit longer, a little bit more thought process, but the rewards are amazing for you financially and for your client in terms of results. And I'm going to give you a bonus one because I'm feeling in a good mood. The 6th one is workshops and masterclasses. You could be teaching, right? You could be teaching cooking classes, soap making, candle making. You could be running workshops where you are demonstrating. If you're really good at showing and demonstrating and making, this one is for you, right? Because some of you who are cooks and you make products and you do things with your hand, you're thinking to yourself, well, I love physical products. How am I going to translate that onto online? Well, this is the perfect platform to do that because you can still have your physical products, but you are making them and demonstrating and showing people. And if eventually you want to sell the product, then what I talked about earlier is finding a fulfillment company to be able to fulfill the orders for you. All the examples that I showed you can be run remotely. It can be sold digitally anywhere in the world. So you don't need an office. You don't need a warehouse. You don't need a manufacturer. All you need is your laptop and your phone, and you could be chilling on a beach while you are working. Who doesn't want that kind of a life? So just to wrap up, I've given you the blueprint of how to launch a freedom-based business. And the beauty of a freedom-based business is that it doesn't just pay the bills. We're not into that, right? That's what you're leaving the Western world for. You don't just want to pay bills. The beauty is that it's going to give you the lifestyle and the freedom that you have always wanted. So it is worth the investment of your time and your energy and your hustle and sweat to build a freedom-based business because it will pay forward. It will be the gift that keeps on giving if you do it right.